Soon, Jane carefully arranges the chalk, preparing for the eager students waiting to learn their first letters. Then, Jack and Laura step inside the quiet barn, their smiles lighting up the dusty, sunlit learning space. With gentle rhythm, the children begin to read, their voices weaving a story of learning and growing. Slowly, Jane guides their small hands, helping them trace each letter with patience and deep, enduring kindness. Midday arrives as golden light filters through the leaves, bathing the humble classroom in serene, quiet peace. Jack beams with pride as he shows his work, marking a small milestone in his long, bright journey. A brief, quiet rest fills the room, allowing the children to enjoy the peaceful atmosphere of their school. When the lesson pauses, Jane wipes the board clean, ready to fill it once more with new dreams. As evening gently falls, the little barn stands as a warm beacon, watching over the village below. Finally, the day turns to rest, but the seeds of knowledge have been planted deep inside hearts. In the silence, every speck of dust seems to whisper of the future waiting for these young souls. The old door remains open, welcoming the tomorrow that Jane and her students build together with such care. Looking out at the horizon, Jane feels the quiet power of a single lesson changing the entire village. Each letter, formed with care, becomes a bridge, connecting these children to a world they once barely knew. Their laughter rings out, filling the barn with life and turning this old place into a true sanctuary. With steady hands, she organizes the desks, creating a space where every child can find their own potential. Outside, the wild flowers bloom in harmony, mirroring the gentle beauty of the lessons held inside these walls. A sharpened pencil prepares the mind, ready to carve out a destiny that was once forgotten by others. As the sun dips low, the village settles, and the promise of education remains etched in the quiet air. Even in solitude, Jane continues her study, always seeking new ways to nurture the young minds she serves. Jack captures a bird on his paper, his drawing taking flight alongside his developing skills and his wide imagination. Laura copies her lessons with deep focus, her handwriting improving with every day of practice and quiet guidance. The soft melody of birds accompanies their studies, reminding everyone of the life that blooms outside the barn. Jane also draws a small map of the village, showing the children how words can describe every path, roof, tree, and neighbor they know. Jack points to the road on the chalkboard, proudly spelling it aloud while Laura follows each sound with careful concentration. The lesson turns the familiar village into a book, and every simple object becomes a doorway into a wider world. Outside the barn, a farmer passing by slows his steps, moved by the clear voices rising from the humble classroom. He remembers a time when many children had no place to study, and his eyes soften with quiet gratitude. Jane invites the children to write one sentence about their dreams, giving them space to imagine lives beyond the fields. Jack writes that he wants to build strong houses, and Laura writes that she wants to read stories to younger children. Those small sentences shine brighter than any decoration in the barn because they carry the first shape of tomorrow. Jane keeps each page carefully, promising herself that no effort from these children will ever be treated as small. Later, she teaches them to count seeds, showing how numbers can help a family plan food, work, and harvest. The children laugh when the seeds roll across the table, but they gather them again and continue the lesson with joy. By learning letters and numbers together, they begin to see that knowledge is not distant, cold, or frightening. It is something they can hold in their hands, speak with their voices, and carry home to help the people they love. Jane watches their faces brighten, and the tiredness in her own shoulders becomes lighter than the dust floating in the sun. For a moment, the old barn seems larger than before, as if hope has pushed its walls farther apart. Every small success becomes a bell in her heart, ringing softly and telling her to keep teaching, keep believing, and keep opening doors. That hope stays with them, steady and bright, long after school is done. As night blankets the world, the barn rests under the moon, keeping the village's future safe within. In the quiet corner, Jane prepares a simple cup of tea, taking a moment to breathe before evening. They share a small, sweet treat, their bond growing stronger with each simple, happy moment they spend together. Precision begins with the simple hold of a pencil, a skill Jane teaches with the care of a gardener. A soft, refreshing rain falls outside, washing the world clean and bringing a cozy, inward focus to all. As the rain clears, a vibrant sky reveals itself, reflecting the new clarity in the children's minds. Every page turned is a step forward, a bridge built between their current life and their hidden dreams. Jack helps clean the board, showing his growing responsibility and his deep respect for the lessons he receives. A warm, encouraging smile from Jane is all the praise the children need to keep their spirits high. A stray breeze catches a paper, reminding them that their knowledge is precious and needs to be guarded.
Look here.
The sunset light paints the barn in gold, signaling the end of another day of growth and learning. They carefully put their books away, keeping their precious knowledge safe until they return again tomorrow morning. Watching them leave, Jane feels a quiet pride in the small difference she is making for every child. Under the vast starry night, the barn sleeps, a silent witness to the dreams flourishing within its walls. Always preparing, Jane writes down new lessons, dedicated to uncovering even more potential in her young students. Morning arrives once more, and the first sunbeams find their way into the classroom, greeting the new day. Jack brings flowers to his teacher, a sweet sign of his gratitude for the lessons she shares daily. The dancing dust motes seem to celebrate the joy of discovery, making every lesson feel truly magical today. The barn is quiet, occupied only by the sound of pencils moving, creating a focused, harmonious learning space. They help one another, fostering a community where sharing knowledge makes everyone grow a little bit more. Seeing them connect, Jane knows her work here is deeply rooted in the heart of the whole village. As they depart, the barn holds the echoes of their progress, waiting to hear more stories again tomorrow. She keeps the windows clear, ensuring the light can always reach her students, no matter how things change. Jack stands to read, his voice gaining confidence as he articulates every word with newfound, clear strength. Laura focuses on her spelling, each correct word building the foundation for her bright, unfolding future ahead. The long golden shadows of afternoon stretch across the barn, marking the steady passing of a productive day. Jane looks at old photos, reflecting on how far she and the children have traveled together since starting. Jack sketches the village, his art capturing the beauty he sees everywhere, thanks to his teacher's quiet guidance. Laura whispers the words, finding joy in the rhythm of each sentence she carefully learns to read aloud. A simple lunch becomes a feast of friendship, shared with laughter in their little home for learning. The sunset fades to a deep violet, signaling that the barn is ready to rest for the night. Jane lights a candle, its soft flame adding warmth to the quiet room. A steady light in the dark. The children watch the candle flicker, finding comfort in the soft, glowing light that fills their space. The wind hums a lullaby through the barn, lulling everything into a peaceful and deep, nightly rest. Closing her book, Jane sighs happily, knowing the day was spent well nurturing the future of the village. They walk home, carrying the light they found in the barn, ready to return when the sun rises. Everything is organized for tomorrow, as Jane makes sure the learning space is pristine for her students. The silver moon watches over the village, protecting the dreams being built within the humble barn tonight. Finally alone, Jane takes a long breath, grateful for the chance to guide the future of her village. The world outside rests, and the barn sleeps, waiting for the bright energy of morning to return soon. Sunlight touches the notebooks again, as another day of learning begins for the children of the village. With focused hearts, they dive into their lessons, their determination growing stronger every single morning here. Laura shares a joyful look with Jane, her confidence blossoming like a flower in the warmth of teaching. The atmosphere of the barn remains peaceful, a quiet sanctuary where dreams have the space to fully grow. Even the smallest things, like dancing dust, feel like part of the grand story they are all writing. She reviews their progress carefully, each mark on the paper reflecting their steady journey toward great things. Jack helps Laura understand a word, showing how the knowledge spreads and grows among the young village students. A gentle smile graces her face as she observes them helping each other learn with such pure grace. As the afternoon light fades to gold, the barn prepares for another evening of quiet and deep rest. She gently closes the door, knowing that tomorrow they will return to continue building their dreams together again. Sitting on the porch, Jane enjoys the quiet of the evening, reflecting on the bright futures she has nurtured. They walk away towards home, their steps steady and hopeful, carrying everything they learned back to their village. The barn, once forgotten, has now become the heart of the village, breathing new life into every child. Beneath the stars, the work is done for now, but the legacy of the little school will remain forever. The moon casts a soft glow over the barn, promising a peaceful night for the village and its students. With a heart full of joy, Jane knows she has given everything she could to help them reach higher. The night embraces the quiet barn, which will wait patiently for the children to return for tomorrow's lessons. As the day concludes, she rests her spirit, knowing the village is changed by her steady, gentle devotion. Finally, the day is complete, and the school rests, prepared for the bright promise of another new beginning.